I don't see me going off into a side hobby collecting vending machines. This thing is huge. I mean, it is practical in a way. It doesn't use that much energy, but you only need so many vending machines.
Alright, I lied to myself. I'm sorry. One more machine. Please, I promise. Like, this is nuts. I'm the last one. Anyways, yes, another vending machine. And this one, I guarantee you, is not ready to go anywhere yet. In fact, it's nothing short of a mess. Right, so, story behind this vending machine. It lived its life at a ski lodge in central British Columbia until 1992 before it was stuffed into a storage shed. And there it sat for the last 25 years, accumulating dust, having bugs live into it, and receiving a rather substantial amount of vandalism because holy crap, this thing is a mess. But why the hell did I go after this vending machine? What the hell is so special about it? Why did I just go down this rabbit hole? Well, okay. The first thing is that this is not the kind of thing you put cat bottles and cans into. No. This here serves cold food. And in cold food, it does so in a compartmentalized manner because every single little piece here is actually a little tiny door. And what would happen is that you push this button and it would rotate. Now, I understand there's a modern version of this, which is a giant carousel, which means that it's quite deep. And that's the thing. This is not a carousel. And as a result, it's quite thin, actually. I would say no more than 2 feet deep. Instead, what it uses are these. And these mount on a set of rails inside the machine. And those rails, once I open this up, look like this. And a single motor here indicates when to stop. One motor and a torque aligner, which is missing its bit of rubber, as it rotates along on this chain. And that's the top and bottom. You load it from either side. There's that little switch there, indicating when it's supposed to start and stop. And this whole cabinet here is refrigerated. Now, this is an absolutely amazing machine because of the coin acceptor in here. This is not digital. And in fact, you don't see the coin acceptor in here right now because I'm currently cleaning it. But otherwise, this here is an analog machine. In that, when you put the coin in, it counts it, it tells the machine that the money is inserted, and it does so all in a fashion that's extremely, well, there's no computers in here at all, like I said. Anyways, so you put your money in, and each one of these little cabinets here, or these little drawers here, are set to a price size up to $1. When you hit that price point, a solenoid will activate and cause this little lever here to drop down, because otherwise, whoops, latched. But the solenoid activates, and it holds it down, and now, as I open the other side, you can open it. You can grab your food, and you can close it. And that micro switch there then engages again, and this little this metal bar here, which runs the length of it, will engage, and that causes the latch here to reset again. And it does it all completely in an electromechanical manner. Now, this thing, like I said, is not ready to go, and there's a fair amount of damage. Thankfully for these doors here, I have a sample of each size, 1, 2, and 3. So I have the exact dimensions of these acrylic panels so I can rebuild them using our fantastic laser cutter at our local maker space. And then we have this. So, like I said, this thing's been sitting in the shed for 25 years and saw a fair amount of vandalism. Someone thought it would be a great idea to pry it open and see if there was money still hiding inside of it. Of course, there wasn't. And as a result, they've destroyed the lock area here. The coin return cup is... Actually, the cup is in good shape, but the area around here is destroyed. And, well, this is just demolished. Thankfully, if you look at this, there is one bend, but you can just put it on its side and jump on it, that's going to bend out. This here, however, will not bend out at all. So instead, what I'm going to do is that from here to the top will be cut out and a brand new piece of steel is going to be welded in. And that'll take care of that, because the only thing that actually touches this part is this part of the latch mechanism, which I'd like to point out is an amazing shape still considering the abuse. And this here, which is part of just the alignment groove and tongue. And this is actually screwed in, so I can take that out, and when I have it rebuilt, I can just weld a bolt in and boom, we're done. The front here, even though it looks like a complete and total mess, and it even has profanity, get in there we go, has profanity spray painted onto it, is actually a piece of sheet metal. So I can actually remove that whole piece of sheet metal here and replace it, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So like this mess here, I can hammer out the inside metal, put in the new piece of sheet metal's cut exactly to the old coin acceptor or coin return cup, and it would look fine. And this is just vinyl. It's all fake wood vinyl all the way around. So that can be replaced as well, and that'll clean it up significantly. And up here, well, there's a couple of places I can probably get new pieces. Suzo probably has components for this. There's a couple other vending companies, but Rao, thankfully, did have some level of compatibility between their various models, which, by the way, what model of vending machine is this here? Well, let's look at the boilerplate. It says model 147, so if you know Universal Vending, that's the exact same product, except that is not a cold food vending machine. It's your traditional like little coily thing with you put your food in and it drops out. So a lot of the Google results refer to that, not this. In fact, I can find absolutely nothing about this machine so far. And that's where my problem on the inside comes to and why I've been so secretive. This down here is already an indication of what we're up against. So, on the back of the machine, if you can see through the darkness here, there's supposed to be some sort of metal plate or grating that would go where the compressor usually sits in this. For some reason, the last owner removed that plate. And when it was put into storage, unfortunately, it became the perfect home for a pack rat. And that pack rat, oh my god, absolutely demolished the entire bottom section of this machine. It's all rust. All of it. All of the wiring is a complete animal-chewed mess. This is one of the downsides of not having like signaling buses. Everything, each wire serves a purpose. And now I need the schematics in order to make it work again at all. Also, we may have noticed already, where on earth is the refrigeration unit? Well, that's sitting over here, as well as over here. What has happened is that there was a considerable amount of garbage, refuse, and other muck that was hidden in here. And this is the pile of it out here. Still a little wet from pressure washing so damn hard. And everything that's brown here is also more filth that was taken out of here. This was definitely a wear a mask and gloves ordeal to clean out. By the way, if you're asking, these here are the two fuses that operate the entire thing. 120 volts would be live here. And it almost feels like 120 volts would be live over the entire mechanism. But anyways, the compressor. Well, it lived around the compressor, and as a result, the compressor is in extremely sad shape. I consider the vending machine pretty damn close to a write-off, but the compressor is dead. And you can see down here, there is a physical hole in the actual, not the evaporator, damn it, in this coil here. We're just going to call it that. And there's another one hidden over here, but you can't see it from the underside. So we've lost the Freon charge. You can see there's oil here, and I've washed this with a pressure washer, so that's fresh. And that means we've also lost all the lubricant. I've tried powering the compressor as is. It's seized. It's no good. The whole thing's dead. Even the fan motor is seized. The whole thing's a complete and total write-off. So, no refrigeration. Thankfully, this is commercial enough that from here and here, the evaporator would connect onto, and this is the evaporator right here. Currently sitting so that whatever oil is remaining in the system can drain out. Otherwise, this is still in excellent shape because it was in the actual chilled compartment, not down where the pack rat was living. So that's going to be reinstalled back in the machine for completeness sake, and for the fact that it seems to be very specific to this machine. A lot of the air compressor or cooling compressor and refrigeration kits available online are for, well, not for this style of vending machine, and as a result, I feel like it's going to be a pain to rebuild or replace this, so I'm just going to leave it the hell alone for now. We don't really need it if we're just going to fill it with stuff that's not perishable or needing to be refrigerated. But the rest of the components are currently hiding over here as I do some work to them, like these plates here. Rusty, but actually not that many components are actually really bad. This is probably the worst piece right here. And this is one of the air ducts for the compressor. And you can see for everything down there, there's a line where basically the water, the moisture, and the pack rat piss just didn't reach. Right else was it? Right. So also when I pressure washed it, this came off, and that's the one thing that's amazing. This copper bucket of screws here, with the exception of 2 sheet metal screws, only 2 sheet metal screws, and those were on this piece right here. I've had not a single bolt or screw otherwise break while dismantling this, which is an absolute miracle. Because otherwise I would be crying and screaming and being absolutely furious at this thing because, well, look how much rust is on everything. And then there's this thing here. This is the other component to the analog computer. Not this part over here. This is actually part of the fluorescent lights for the front of the unit, but this here is the plug board. And this is how you set the price for the 13 different doors on this unit here. There's actually a set of wires that loop through each one of these. I've had to pull them out so I could actually remove this from the machine, and then you can set the price accordingly. It only goes up to 50 cents though, so I'm curious if it does some sort of price doubling if there's a jumper somewhere else I'm not seeing right now. But thankfully that's intact. It does need some cleaning. And how am I going to clean this thing? Well, the first thing, and probably the easiest thing to do, is to go at it with a disc grinder and go after the large spots and strip it down to the basic paint. Or not to the basic paint, to the bare metal. Also, we can go at it with a sandblaster. And the sandblaster is what I want to get it also down to the bare metal. Then we can treat the rust, spray it, and then put something down to prime it, and then the whole machine will end up being repainted. And that should deal with the rust. There may also be a couple of places here, like where the compressor used to sit. There's now a hole in the sheet metal that'll have to be cut out, and a new piece welded in. But the integrity otherwise of the machine is pretty good. Like, I'm not seeing through the sides here before sandblasting. That might change. But that's it. Once the rust and once that's taken care of, really it's just a lot of superficial damage. That includes the little windows. But this is my summer project. Whether or not this finishes, I'm not looking to keep this here at the house. It may end up in another location. It may unfortunately end up in storage, but I really don't want to store it forever. Maybe once I'm done with it, I'll pass it on to someone else. But rest assured, this summer, yeah, I'm not going to have a whole hell of a lot of time on my hands.